before working together, you paid what, $9,800 for a previous coaching program?
Couple dollars shy of 11K.
And how much money did you make since we started working together?
Oh, probably around 9K.
9K,
And
right? So we're here with Chuck. Welcome, Chuck,
well,
to our
hello,
conversation.
Bogdan and everyone. Happy to be
Um,
here.
yeah, and let's just kind of dive straight into it. Like before working together, you paid what, $9,800 for a previous coaching program?
Couple dollars shy of 11K,
Oh,
if you can believe, altogether, because there were two programs. And yeah, and the value I got out of it was
zero.
zero,
Right.
because I thought about it today. They had a recent graduate, had only been in their program 3 months, turn into a coach who had no idea what she was doing
Right.
to coach me. And so she guided me in 5 different directions.
And how much money did you make since we started working together?
Oh, probably around 9K.
9K,
And
right? Mhm.
and gosh, what's been because I went into a second leg of the program, but it's been a little over 4 months. So,
Love it.
you know,
So tell us a bit about what you do and how you help your clients.
well, I have been a master hypnotist for 17 years. I help people make positive changes in their lives. And really, I help them help themselves, right? Because the only
Right.
person who can change is yourself. And more specifically, we dial in their sleep.
Mhm.
Sleep is the most important part of our health, next to breathing and drinking water. And all of us tend to push it by the wayside. I bring it back to the forefront, and I get them consistent, high quality sleep in 28 days.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's powerful, right? And
Yeah.
that's something like you also decided on the niche. I think it was a week after we started working together. You had like that spark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had been 3 months in the other program,
Yeah.
and I had three niches, and not one coach until the end gave me the parable. It's kind of like a fox that chases two rabbits, ends up catching none, right?
Wow. Mhm.
Um, so I really dialed in. Now I've been a weather geek. I'm a certified meteorologist for years. I was on TV. Um, I'm a hypnotist and I'm a sleep coach. But really, I've dialed in specifically. I'm a sleep coach that then helps with hypnosis
Mhm.
erase anxiety, phobias, and other challenges in people's lives. But we get them to sleep first.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the first step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because better sleep, more energy, more
Mm-hmm.
happiness, more money,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember like when we started working together, you were still charging per session for your coaching, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
in some situation is fine. I mean, you can absolutely do that. We had that conversation as well. Um, but what would you say was the shift in basically in your energy? Like who were you before we started working together and who are you now in terms of your mindset, in terms of your energy?
I'm much more comfortable and confident in what I'm doing. And that's the first thing. But
Yeah.
how did I get there? I did that by not inventing fears and what ifs in my mind. What if I get a high ticket client and I don't have the material? Well, guess what? You develop the material as you go. So that what if went to the wayside. And then I started to develop material with the clients I already had
Yeah.
for the clients that I was picturing to attract, right? So now I'm more confident because I do have some material build up. but really the material differs from client to client. So that went goodbye. So no more fear there. Then there was the frustration of not being trained, even though I went through the sales portion of that last program, and they even call themselves, in part of their name is funnels, and they never taught me how to build a funnel. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But
Yep.
they didn't teach me the sales. And you said, here's a script. I want you to put in where the sleep coaching would apply. And it was very easy to plug in. And then we went through the script and you told me, this is the reason why you do this. And when you start on a call, you ask them to commit to a yes or no. I, never thought of that.
Mhm.
But then you remind them, hey, remember when you said you were going to say yes or no? And then they're like, oh, yeah, I guess I have to do that. Little things that you're not being rude, you're not being forceful, you're just getting them to agree. And that's what I do in hypnosis. It is compliance and suggestibility.
Yeah.
And that
you're
is
doing
what it is in sales.
You're doing it in a fun and cool way that is not pushy, that it's not aggressive, but actually in a very magnetic and centered and calm and fun way. And I think people really appreciate that about your calls.
Yeah. And
Right.
I'm myself, and that's always been me. On
Yeah.
TV, I went through 17 newsroom managers and 7 general managers at my TV stations in 23 years.
Yeah.
So that in one sentence tells you how tumultuous the entertainment business is. But each one of them said, Chuck, you don't look like the weatherman. You don't act like a weatherman. No, I look like Chuck. I talk like Chuck. I act like Chuck. And people watch me for being Chuck.
Yeah.
So on a sales call, you don't have to act like a salesperson. You don't have to talk like one. You have to do the script, hit the points, but do it as yourself. And,
For sure.
one of the fellow coaching students yesterday, we went through a practice sales call, both of us.
Mhm.
And I discovered, I'm more experienced than he is, but I discovered some things that I could do better just by going through the practice. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. Well done.
yeah.
In our coaching sessions, we also, we often dive into meditation and sometimes energy work. I don't always call it, okay, let's work on your
Mhm.
energy. But as a hypnotherapist, how did you find those sessions?
I found them very refocusing on meditation. It's the old adage, you can tell people what to do better than what you could tell yourself, right?
Right.
So once you direct that instruction for meditation and force yourself to meditate, you can tell today I meditated. I took the time to meditate. I went on a walk before this call. I took a shower. I got mentally prepared for the day. And today I'm going to do some sales calls. And it is so important to put yourself in a relaxed state, and meditation does that. And with the way you meditate, you have got me to be more focused in my meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of like jumping into a lake without a goal of swimming across or swimming back to the shore. Okay, I'm in the lake. What do I do now?
Yeah.
A lot of people jump into meditation, yoga, which is a form of meditation, which meditation is a form of hypnosis. It puts us in our subconscious. So.
And how would you describe your relationship with money? I mean, what was your relationship before and what's your relationship right now?
Well, I talk about the last program, but I laugh about it now. And because I've sat down and wrote down the benefits of even a program that gave me no benefits where they said they were going to give me.
Yeah.
I wrote down the benefits. I made some excellent connections, some networking. So that was a benefit. But with money, I now, that's one other thing I learned in that program. He quoted somebody else, but there is a David Bach and a Susie Orman that coach people on how to get out of debt. And they have you focus on debt. Don't focus on the debt, focus on making more money, and the debt takes care of itself. What I have changed since we've worked together is I'm allowing money to flow through me easily and better, knowing that, hey, I'm not going to hold on to all this, but
Right.
by giving it out into the community, by giving it to someone who can teach me, it will come back to me. And
Yes,
it'll come back to me more.
that is a very powerful principle, the idea of circulating money instead of grabbing onto it, because it's like you grab onto it and you don't want to spend money. What you're really telling yourself in your subconscious and the universe is, oh my God, I'm not going to make money again, so let me just hold on to this money as long as possible, right? So it's still a state of fear. And was that kind of your state before, or how would you describe your relationship with money before working together?
Well, my relationship, say 3 years ago, even with
Right.
money, was wasting money and wasting time, and then wondering where I was going to get the money to pay for the necessities in life. Now, my time is spent preparing myself and putting myself in areas of opportunity online and in life to attract more money.
Yeah.
Because I was hanging around people that were wasting money and wasting time like myself. So we were all wastes. We were just not doing our potential. And I was listening on my walk today to Earl Nightingale, who said, luck is where preparedness meets opportunity. So you never stop learning, you never stop preparing. But some of us prepare all the time and learn, but never put ourselves in the spots where we can get more opportunities. And with coaching with you, I learned about not only preparing myself, but then to take action. And you need a coach to kick you in the backside to say, hey, you need to go into this area of opportunity and do this, you know?
Yeah, and have a really good focus on the activities that are gonna raise your income, right? And not be afraid to take action. I know that in our initial conversations, there was, just like you mentioned before, this apprehensiveness in terms of charging high ticket for your services, because, and this is something very common for a lot of coaches and even for entrepreneurs sometimes. It's like, well, what if I get this amount of money and the client isn't happy, right? What is that going to say about my value? What is that going to say about myself? But when you realized that you already had value, and when you started to understand what is your true value, right? That's when the sales came in.
Yeah. And, I think all of us really do not realize the true value we have.
Yeah,
And we
for
say,
sure.
well, and we compare ourselves to somebody who has, and the people who waste time say, oh, that guy's lucky. No, he prepared himself and put himself in a area of opportunity. Okay.
Yeah. And that doesn't happen until you realize that that area of opportunity is your playground. Because before, you look at it like, wow, all of these people are over here and I'm over here, but you understand your value, you realize that you're actually already there, right? And you also use the sales strategies and this new mindset, this new energy, right, to make some money in your Weather Digital, or actually no, for your personal brand, right?
Yeah, personal brand. I became a spokesperson for a state industry, the Workforce Solutions, that helps people prepare and get their resources ready for a career and a new job. And I used my sales strategy to negotiate the contract up to a base rate
Yep.
that was still what I originally asked for, that they told me no on. And you know, and I'll say it was a $100 per hour.
Mhm.
But I said, well, how about a base rate of $1,000 for 10 hours of work a month? So I'm still getting 100, and anything over that 10 hours, I get 100 per hour.
Right.
And in their mind, they're like, oh, okay, all right. So I use that for my personal brand. And then in my weather brand, I got a new client as well, being true to myself, being confident, and then also using the language that I use in my script on Zoom calls over in person in
Yep.
front of the business owner to get them to agree to be a weather advertiser. So there you go.
Yeah, it's literally a process of building confidence that if they invest with you, they're going to make a lot more money, that their life is going to be better. They're going to have a better understanding of themselves. And that's the whole process. However,
Mhm.
it's quite impossible to do that if you don't have that confidence for yourself, right? If you haven't sold yourself on your services, it's almost impossible to sell somebody else, right? And in a sense, that's actually the easiest step to do. If you have somebody like, if you try to do it yourself, it's a lot harder. But if you have somebody kind of putting up a mirror in front of you and saying, hey, look how much you've achieved, right? Look how much your clients love you, because you already had like clients paying you per session, right? And you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Why haven't I seen this? And then you do, and life becomes more fun, right? So Chuck, what would you say is the biggest difference between your experience coaching together and your experience in that previous program?
Well, the difference, number one, is the accountability, the quality of your products that you put out, and you want your clients to start making money right away.
Yeah.
Where they wanted you to go through 152 modules, video modules,
Mm-hmm.
and prepare and prepare and prepare, and then still have enough energy and time to take action. And then when you weren't successful, they blamed you.
Yeah.
Where that is the new trend in coaching, where Bohdan, you kick me in the butt, but you also say, hey, I found this online. Why don't you go down this route or speak like this guy? Or you're actually actively wanting your clients to succeed and giving tools for them to succeed.
And how many people were in that program?
Oh, probably at one time, at least 100 every 3 months, maybe more, probably 200.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, you had to apply for the 4 group coaching days to get on a list of 7, 8 people per day out of 200 or
Right.
100 to maybe get 5 minutes where everybody else can listen to your issues and your problems on the group coaching problem, which is fine. Group coaching, you can learn from listening to other people. I love that about group
Yep.
coaching, but the group was too big. You maybe got on to talk to a coach like that 2 times in 3 months, maybe 3 times. And
Crazy.
then they had a beginning smaller group coaching call with 3 other people on it that you had to listen to for their 15 minutes each, you
I
know,
mean, like
and that was
$11,000.
once at the beginning, once at the end. And,
$11,000, like, I mean, I get it for a bit more done with you, like having somebody, hold your hand a bit in the whole process. But what you're really describing is a do-it-yourself program, right? And that
mhm,
amount of money for do-it-yourself doesn't really
yes,
make sense because you can just research stuff online, right? So, but yeah, the reason why I was asking is because I had a similar experience myself. I was in a program that had 1,300 people in the
yeah,
group, right? And it was insane. I spent 5 months working, putting in the work, joining all the calls, studying everything they gave me. I got zero clients, right? And the reason why that happened, and I eventually bought another program that was like pre-recorded, but it just did the trick, right? The reason why I couldn't get clients was because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't understand my value. I was
mhm,
trying to be, just like you mentioned very clearly and very on point. I was trying to be somebody else in the calls, right?
mhm.
And when I started allowing myself to be myself in the calls, I started getting clients, right? And actually more, but what hadn't changed yet was I wasn't being myself in my content. I was still trying to be somebody else, right?
Yes.
So this channel, actually, this new YouTube channel, is me deciding to be more of myself, right? And doing more and more and more of that. And it feels so much better than anything that I was doing before.
And once you realize no one can be you better than you,
Mm,
and then it takes no extra effort to be you.
yeah.
It doesn't stress you. You say things naturally. Now, I'm a talking animal. I love to talk, but that's another thing too. On the original program, they did say you have to use the pause, but I actually use the mute button on sales calls. And then I was listening to Dr. Wayne Dyer the other day too, and he was talking about holding back
Yep.
and pause. And then, listening is so valuable,
Hmm. That was
but
something that we
actually,
worked on as well, right?
mhm,
Like pausing and using pauses in the conversations and allowing that to, because pauses are the mark of power, basically, right?
mhm. And I still get hyper because we have a call with 1 or 2 other people, and I want to help them because I see a solution,
Yeah.
but I need to hold back and then wait for my time. But my ADHD sometimes kicks in, and I'm like, and you're like, okay, Chuck, breathe, direct yourself. But it has helped me
That's awesome.
in
Yeah.
my calls.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. And right now you're finally building a funnel. Congratulations.
Yes, and
Right.
I made entry video and an ending video or a call to action video. I
Yeah.
like those, but the actual lead generation magnet, I'm going to reshoot because I know I can do a better job. But
Yeah.
um,
We'll see. I would love to check them out as well and maybe share some thoughts that might be helpful. Awesome. Chuck, I'm very, very proud of your progress. You've done really, really well since we started together. Like what I saw was somebody who was, kind of aware of what they could be doing, but you weren't necessarily doing it not because you really didn't know what to do, but literally, I mean, you had the strategies and tactics. I mean, some of the tactics maybe you learned from those other programs or that other program, or just maybe studying by yourself. But you had the strategies, you had the tactics. The sales call was like the sales script was a huge game changer from what I
Mhm.
remember. But just like looking inward and seeing, yeah, you know what, it's worth that amount of money, right? And I bet your clients are super happy as well.
Oh, yeah, they are phenomenally happy. And I'll give you an example. There's one client that was taking, when he talked to me, was down to 7 sleeping pills a night.
Mm-hmm.
And within the 3-month program, he's down to 0 sleeping pills per night.
That's powerful, right?
And so, with me being more confident and confident in my tools, I have a binaural beat sleep recording that really helped him out.
Yeah.
But I recorded that. But until people say, "Boy, I fall asleep in 5 minutes listening to that," whatever, then then you're like, "Gee, maybe that was pretty good. Maybe I did do a good job. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
all right at this." You know?
Yeah, you're better than all right for sure. And
Yeah,
it's a very exciting time because we're just scratching the surface. This is just the beginning
yeah.
of the
But I
journey,
want to
right?
thank you, Bo Down. And if anybody is thinking about a coach service, definitely your services and the way you go about it is, I think, a testimonial to you and your experience as a martial arts trainer and some other things that all go into helping to motivate people to success. So thank you for motivating me, and you'll motivate many, many others, I'm sure.
It's my pleasure. And like a friend loves to say, thank you for being you.
Yes, for sure.
And thank you
Thank
for
you.
seeing yourself as you are, right?
Mhm.
Not better, not worst, but as you are and feeling enough for what you want. That's that's the thing. Yeah.
And as I always say, helping other people to succeed is the best way to attract more success and more abundance into your life. So
For sure.
both you and I are doing it.
For sure. Beautiful.